What's up, everyone? This is Aaron, and we are 1 week away from starting our 31 Days of Inspiration, and we are a little more than a month away from starting to release our podcast episodes. And in the meantime, I just had a couple of things I wanted to share. Between now and then, I'll probably be on here every once in a while to share my thoughts and some short videos, whatever. And I'm sure Joel will also at some point be on here sharing a couple of thoughts. But two things I wanted to share today, and the first thing being is about the name, the Other 165. So I made a short video the other day about explaining a little bit about what it means, but I wanted to go into a little more detail and just talk about the Other 165. What does it mean? So there are 168 hours in a week, and for an hour and a half on Sunday, we're in church, and an hour and a half, maybe a midweek service or a small group or whatever, you're in church as well. So that's 3 hours. So, what do you do with your other 165 hours to feel close to God, to feel a close relationship with God? I mean, it's easy to be inside the church building among other believers with, the song service and the preaching and all the good stuff. And it's easy sometimes to feel close to God when you're in that environment. But what happens when you leave the building and life happens and you're hit with reality? So that's really what we want to dig deep into with this podcast, is talk about our experiences, some of the things that we have done to get into a closer relationship with God. And we're going to have a lot of awesome guests that are going to come on and give insight into how they have found ways to get closer to God as well. So we're just so excited about this, and really, really excited to start releasing these episodes. So the other thing I wanted to share really quick is I had this conversation with my sister the other day, and this really common feeling these days of feeling like you are all alone. And with this pandemic and the social distancing and the overall separation in society that we're feeling right now, it is really easy to feel like you are all alone. And to even take it from like the spiritual side, going back to the going into the church building, it can at times feel like a very lonely experience when you're going in there and you just have, a lot of heaviness in your heart because, a lot of stuff has happened this week, or you're struggling with something, and you just look around and everyone has got their Sunday best on, they're singing the songs, they're amening when the preacher's preaching, and you just look around and you think, all these people have it so together. What is wrong with me? Why am I the worst sinner that ever walked the face of this earth? And it can feel very lonely. But at the same time, when you really start to connect with people and you share your issues with them and your struggles with them, and maybe they start to share their issues and their struggles with you, you start to feel like, well, I'm not the only one who is struggling. I'm not the only one who has these problems. Joel and I had talked to a friend of ours at work, and he was talking about a small group that he was a part of, and feeling like when other people were sharing the things that they struggled with, as crazy as it is, when you hear someone else is messing up, like, you don't want to be happy about that, but at the same time it's like a sigh of relief, like, oh man, I'm not the only one who is going through these things. I'm not the only one who is struggling with this. I'm not the worst person in the world. And this kind of ties in again with our podcast, that we really just want to gather together. We want to share our stories. We want to share our experiences. We want to share our hurts and our struggles and our issues. And we want to just encourage every one of you to know that you are not alone, that none of us are alone. And I just really wanted to share that with you. Again, we're getting really excited here to start releasing all this content that we have worked so hard on, and just stay tuned for all of that coming up, and be safe, Be blessed and be encouraged.